Good morning, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Morning Kickstart. I'm Brad.
And I'm Jay.
And we have yet another powerful program for you this morning. We know these are only short, but we're keeping it that way because we know you're busy. And if you can just take your time, just this little bit of time, 10 to 12 minutes or so, and digest what we're talking about, we're confident it'll make your life more empowering. And so anyway, let's start it off with a motivational quote.
Okay, the quote today is from Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "You don't need to see the whole staircase. You just need to take the first step."
I like that. There's a lot of truth to that. Oh, yeah, I like the way he says that. I've heard several ones about like driving across I-80, in the fog. New York, if you're heading east, New York's at the end of it. You don't have to see it all the way. But I like that one too. You don't have to see the bottom, just take one step.
That's right.
Very good. All right, well, here we go. And we're continuing on with our empowering tips this week. This, again, as I said yesterday, I just want to reiterate, if you understand what's causing the challenge that you're faced with, it's a lot easier to overcome. And one of the challenges that many of us face is we just feel like we don't have enough enthusiasm, okay? Well, let's talk about what kills enthusiasm. What do you think it is, Jay? Well, I have an answer for you. See, I'm bailing you out. See how that works? Okay. Well, the first thing that kills enthusiasm is, bottom line, you have no desire to do the task that's in front of you. Okay. If you don't want to go rake the leaves, again, you're not going to have a lot of enthusiasm about it, but you better do it, or else, if you leave them out there too long, what's going to happen? They start plugging up all your drains out in the back and start making a mess. Then you go outside and slip on them when it's wet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so here's my tip for that. If it's something that you really don't want to do, figure out a way to make it fun. My kids and I used to do this all the time with the dishes. My kids hated doing the dishes. Well, we all hate doing the dishes, but we thought we'd have this thing where they took turns. So every night they would load, one would load the dishwasher. And so therefore they really only had to do it once a week. But even then they'd just be like, "Oh, it takes so long. Oh my gosh." Yeah, it would take them an hour to load the dishwasher because they'd load 2 dishes, come over, watch TV for a little bit, load 3 more, go up to their room. And then after a couple of yelling sessions, they'd finally come down and finish. And they'd say, "It's just not fun." And then one day I challenged them. I said, "Why don't you make it a game? Why don't you see how fast you can do it and who can do it the fastest?" "Oh, that's not going to work, Dad." And I said, "Okay, I bet you I can load it within 5 minutes." And they went, "No way." Guess what? I did it in 4 minutes and 37 seconds. And that was including doing them the way that my wife likes, which is basically washing them before you put them in the dishwasher. Yeah. So anyway.
What does the dishwasher do?
Yep. But after that, they were just so blown away that I did it that fast that they wanted to break my record. And guess what? We went on a nice long string of them not complaining about doing the dishes. And so we were able to make it fun, put a little spin on it. And so if there's something that you just don't want to do and you don't have the enthusiasm, again, that's an enthusiasm killer, is you just don't want to do it, but make it fun. The second thing that's an enthusiasm, and this is a big one, and I actually wish we had a lot of time to get into this, but if you write to us, I'll actually do a whole show on this because it's very important. But number 2 is a lack of self-confidence. That kills our enthusiasm a lot. And we just feel like we just don't have what it takes. We're not smart enough. We're not pretty enough. We're not skinny enough. At least that's me. Okay. And so, yeah, that'll kill our enthusiasm quite a bit because we just don't want to get out there because we feel like it'll all be a waste of time. But one of the biggest keys to increasing your self-confidence is increasing your ability to learn. Okay. And see, that's why I say there's so much to this, but I'm just trying to give you a very condensed version here because we all learn differently. And unfortunately, our school system that we have today only teaches or only focuses on one aspect of or one category of learning style. Okay. And so well, anyway, there's basically three learning styles. There's visual, there's what they call kinesthetic, which is by touching, and then there's also listening. Okay, so you have three things, or auditory learning. And school is basically set up for auditory learners. Well, unfortunately, only 30% of the population are natural auditory learners. And so that's why we can get left out or feel, because I'm very kinesthetic, I'm hands-on, I want to do that kind of thing. But guess what? There's ways that you can increase your learning no matter what, whether you're a visual learner or you're a kinesthetic learner. And so, but the key is to focus on that and figure out what it is in your life that you can increase that ability to learn, so you'll have that desire to learn, and that will increase your knowledge, that will increase your professionalism, it'll increase your confidence in your ability to do things. So hopefully that makes sense. But I'm telling you, if you take the time to work on that, it doesn't have to be long. It can be something you do 10 minutes a day, and it'll change your life over time. But remember that lack of self-confidence kills enthusiasm. Because and this is a statement by yours truly here, you increase your ability to learn and your self-confidence levels will increase dramatically. And so that's a statement that I say a lot. Okay. And then finally, number 3 is lack of support. Okay. When we feel like we don't have the support from our family members or from our bosses, from our colleagues at work, yeah, it's going to affect our enthusiasm, because we feel like, I'm helping everybody else, but nobody's helping me. Well, how do you get that support? Well, I'm going to give you just 7 little tips really fast. I'll just name them off for you here. But number 1 is you got to ask for the support. Okay. Realize up front, no one can read your mind. All right. You got to ask for that support. And here, realize this up front, not everybody's going to say yes, and that's okay. But here's what I know about human beings. We all, 90, a major percentage of us, if we had the means to help somebody who asked us for help, we would help them. Stop for a minute and ask yourself, would you help if you felt like you had the means to do so? Of course you would. We know you're that way. But the reason that a person says no is they just don't have the resources at the time. So it's not like they're rejecting you. They're just saying, I'm sorry, I just don't have any way to give you what you need right now. But if you ask enough people, you're going to find it. You're going to find the person that has it. Okay, understand this. You'll get many opinions. This is number 3. You'll get many opinions, and some of them will be conflicting. You'll get it from one person and they'll say one thing. You go to the next one, he'll say just the opposite. But that's okay. Number 4 is welcome all the feedback. Just take it all in. All right. Write it all down. And then number 5 is to be open to all of those suggestions that you see there on the table. Just be open and say, maybe this is something I haven't done before. Maybe I had to put this in here. Or if it's something you've tried before and it didn't work, ask yourself why it didn't work and maybe give it another shot. And so that might be a good way to do that. Then number 6 is then take what applies to you and your personality and who you are and make the necessary changes that you need to in your life. And then finally, number 7 is to let go of all of the rest of the things that people said. Because sometimes when we put ourselves out there and ask for that help, yeah, we might get put down every now and then, but then even take that as feedback. Maybe I'm saying something that's offending people. And if so, I need to stop.
Yeah.
How many people out there that have that attitude? They either going to like me or they're not. Well, hey, you're really limiting the people that could help you by having that attitude.
Yeah.
So anyway, but those are our enthusiasm killers. Number 1, again, was no desire to do the task at hand. Number 2 was lack of self-confidence. And number 3 was lack of support. So work on those areas and your enthusiasm will increase 100-fold. I had to come up with the right number. It's all right, Jay. What's our fun fact for today? Here we are on Tuesday already.
Yes, Brad. Has anyone ever told you that there's someone else out there that has the same face as you?
Yes, but different ethnicities too. One guy told me, I found the Asian version of you, Brad. I'm like, oh, great. I'd like to meet them.
Yeah, all through high school, I had these people come up. Do you know do you work down at this shop down here? No. Well, there's a guy down there that looks exactly like you. Mm-hmm. Well, today is the day we celebrate that. Of course, when someone says you have the same face as someone else, you're probably thinking Bradley Cooper, me, or Beyonce, if you're, I don't want to say that I look like Beyonce, but maybe Bradley Cooper, I could do that.
Yeah, exactly.
but in all likelihood, it's a normal person you've never met. And so, with 7.4 billion people, that's an estimate on the planet, there's bound to be someone else out there who shares some of your facial features and looks enough like you that you might be confused. So, anyway, today, April 20th, we celebrate National Lookalike Day.
National Lookalike Day. I like that.
National Lookalike Day.
Mhm.
It's the perfect day to try and convince people your match is a celebrity instead of that completely normal person you bump to in at the supermarket. So, yeah, there's no celebrity face lookalike here. Well, maybe someone will want to look like me someday, you know, when I get rich and famous, and
That's right.
and one foot in the grave and the other foot on the banana peel. Anyway, so celebrate today, look around, see if you can see that person that kind of looks like you.
Well, about 35, 40 years ago, how long has it been? I served a mission for my church, and I went to Japan, of all places. And I actually was walking down the street one day. All of a sudden, I look over, and some people had their hand over their mouth. They're going, "Oh, who is that? Who is that? Charlton Heston, Charlton Heston!" And they thought I looked like Charlton Heston, and they went and got all their friends, and they were asking me for my autograph, Charlton Heston. And I was like, "I'm sorry, I'm not Charlton Heston." "No, you're Charlton Heston." So I signed a lot of autographs saying, I feel bad about that now, but I just thought that was kind of interesting. You just brought that back up for me. So anyway. But anyway, Jay, this has been fun. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening and tuning in. Our podcasts are available everywhere now, both in audio and in video. They're all over the place. You can find them on Apple Podcasts. You can find them on Google Podcasts. You can find them on Spotify. Just go down the list, iHeartRadio and everything. But we'd like to thank everybody for the support that we're getting out there. And so we're just going to keep doing these because Jay and I love to do them. And so wait until tomorrow. We have another action-packed episode of the Morning Kickstart. We'll see you tomorrow.